All right, you guys, Big 12 Media Day happened today, at least the first day happened today. I just kind of want to talk about it because I saw some interesting quotes. Twitter's kind of been blowing up over the past few hours or so about how the Big 12 Media Day went down. So I was just going through Twitter, and I was watching Big 12 Media Day, but I wasn't watching every single coaching interview and player interview or everything like that. But I saw some interesting quotes. So Mike Gundy was kind of trending today on Twitter because of the comments he made about Oklahoma in the Big 12 and also Texas in the Big 12 and how they are leaving to go to the SEC probably very soon. So, this is going to be the main topic on Big 12 Media Day. It's going to be conference realignment. Everyone knew that going into, this day and tomorrow. So, Oklahoma and Brent Venables and some of his players will actually speak tomorrow around like 10:30ish. I think Brent is supposed to be, and that's kind of like, we're going to see the responses and what he thinks and what Oklahoma thinks about the conference realignment. Same with Texas. They do have Big 12 Media Day as well tomorrow. So the first quote that I saw from Mike Gundy on Twitter, this is over the future of Bedlam. Gundy said during his time at the Big 12 Media Day, it's a year or two left. I mean, that's the future that's based on someone else's decision. Now, that quote is, he's not technically wrong, right? Oklahoma's decision to move to the SEC. But it's not, it's a business move because when you think about it, which I'll get into more detail on these other quotes, I'll let you know how it's a business move. So Mike also said, the moves that are being made are for money, period. Which is kind of, I have the response for the first quote, right? Oklahoma State is a very successful university in athletics and academically. Very good school. They have accomplished a lot. They are a great university, but can't sit up here and act like they, especially in college football. Now, all in all, they're very good sports-wise. They got wrestling. Basketball, I think they kind of overhype themselves sometimes. They haven't been that good in basketball, but they're solid. And other sports as well. But, when I look at it, and he says money, this is a money move for both Texas and Oklahoma. It is. But you also got to put yourself in their shoes. Oklahoma and Texas, I feel like they kind of seen this going down. So looking at it, Oklahoma and Texas obviously want a stable future. They want a stable future to have a lot of money coming in and also be able to be in the league and be comfortable in a league for a long time. Oklahoma and Texas kind of saw this coming. I feel like they saw, the shift in Big 12 and, Pac-12 and conference realignment, and really those Big 10 and SEC trying to make a super conference. It makes sense because, being inside college football like those schools are, they could probably get the early insight of what they were trying to do to SEC and Big 10. So, when Oklahoma got, the SEC was interested in bringing Oklahoma in, and the interest was mutual. So they met, they got the contract done, and they're going to be in the SEC in a few years or whenever. It's like, are you going to take $100 million or are you going to take $500 million to go? You're going to take $100 million to stay in the Big 12 every year when you know that conference could come crumbling down at any moment? Or would you take $500 million, have it, be comfortable, and have a great environment with some of the best teams, the best competition, and with the best players and best universities, and you can have that comfortability for a long, long time. The money keeps going in. TV deals for the SEC are huge. They've always had a lot of money. And what this does for the program with Oklahoma and Texas, they believe it can get them to another level as well. It believes they can level them up, which I do believe it will. That SEC money, when it hits, you're going to see that these programs are going to get a lot even bigger than what they even are, and that's crazy to say. So Mike, I think, was kind of, I don't know, I think Mike Gundy kind of, I get what he's trying to say, but if Oklahoma State was in the same situation as Oklahoma or Texas, if they wanted OU and OSU instead of OU and Texas, Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy and everyone else will not be complaining about this at all. They would be making, imagine if Oklahoma State got SEC money, they would level up big time. Mike Gundy also said on OSU's brand change, even with Oklahoma's move to the SEC, nothing has changed. I'm confident the Big 12 will be here for a long time, but the brand we have here in Oklahoma State will be very remarkable for the future. Right. Oklahoma State will be fine as a school. They're good enough to, even if Big 12 did crumble down, they're good enough to move and, be somewhere else. But the thing is with it is you're not comfortable though if you're Oklahoma State. You're kind of on edge because you don't know when it's going to come crumbling down, because there's no way the Big 12 will ever compete with the likes of SEC football and Big 10 football. Not since they got Oklahoma, Texas, and the Big 10 got USC and UCLA. No way. It's just not going to happen. He said, Mike Gundy said Oklahoma and Texas are still in all the Big 12 meetings. If I were in charge, I wouldn't allow them to do that. That's what Mike Gundy said. So you got to realize they're not moving to SEC right now. Those are their biggest teams, their biggest marketable teams. That's where they make the most money. Oklahoma and Texas are the Big 12. You put a percentage on it, it's probably like 80-20. What teams have made the most money for the Big 12? All in all, probably Oklahoma and Texas. I put money on it. Oklahoma State may be like third, though. But there's a significant margin from first, second, and third. I'm being honest. Texas is one of the most rich programs in sports history. And Oklahoma's not terribly behind them. A lot of money going into those programs, a lot of money that was gifted to the Big 12. That's why they want money for Oklahoma and Texas leaving. That's why they want it. They're saying, okay, we're going to let you leave, but we need money. We need those money still. That's just how it works. Spencer Sanders, Oklahoma State's starting quarterback, who has been there, starting quarterback for a long time, also said, I'm not going to sit here and beg for it to continue. It was a fun game while it lasted. If OU want to go to the SEC, go ahead and go to the SEC. To me, it doesn't bother me very much or too much. And that's a good mindset to have for Spencer Sanders. I do respect Spencer Sanders, tough guy, tough quarterback. But the thing is about Oklahoma and Texas, I'm not trying to hate on Oklahoma State fans or Oklahoma State players or the university. I think they're obviously, like I said,
a great university, have accomplished a lot as a university, but I hate to tell them that their program, they care more about Oklahoma, Texas rather than they care about Bedlam. To remind you guys, I don't even remember the specific record of Bedlam in football. It is one-sided. I'm pretty sure Oklahoma's going to hit 100 wins before Oklahoma State even hits 20 wins in Bedlam, based on the track that they're going right now. So you're right. You're trying to, the Oklahoma State people are trying to make it seem like they're kind of the villains, but it's like, villains, okay, but I mean, we're talking about a team that doesn't really care about Bedlam because it's so one-sided that a lot of people think it's not as interesting anymore. I mean, Oklahoma State before this year, their last win was 2014. I mean, come on now. The one-sided, at least in football now, I know it's competitive in other sports, but the biggest sport in college is football. So people are going to be like, well, Oklahoma State, Bedlam, and OU is bigger than football. Nothing bigger than college football and college athletics. I'm sorry. College basketball is great. Not on the level of college football. Softball is great. Baseball is great. Definitely nowhere near the level of college football. College football's one of the biggest sports that goes on every year. So, I mean, millions draw in to watch games for college football every Saturday. So, it doesn't really matter to OU. You know, you can give them a sob story, give Texas a sob story, but they don't care. Texas and OSU, kind of a middle rivalry. They've had a lot of interesting games. They definitely don't like each other, but no one cares about that. No one cares about Bedlam anymore. The rivalry that Oklahoma can live without Bedlam. Now, can Oklahoma State live without Bedlam? That's another question. But that was all the quotes I want to see. That was just interesting Big 12 day. A lot of stirring the pot, a lot of just stuff being said that was very interesting. So definitely have to check out everything. There's so much out there now. And tomorrow, like I said, you got Oklahoma and Texas, which I'll probably make a video on Big 12 Media Day and stuff like that. So it's cool. Kind of went on a mini rant of why Oklahoma and Texas this is a business decision at the end of the day for Mike Gundy. Has to understand that, because if Oklahoma State was the same position in these two programs, I would hope he would do the same thing. He would not be very smart to not. But yeah, that's it for me. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to my NBA channel as well. This channel is mainly used for all football-related content, NFL, college. Just dropped the Baker Mayfield video literally 2 days ago or whatever, day and a half ago. So make sure you guys watch that video, like it up, like up this video, and subscribe to those channels. I'll see you guys later. Peace.